Hello everyone, today we are starting chapter number 6, molecular basis of inheritance. So let's get started. In the previous chapter we have learned the genetic basis of inheritance, means genes were the basis of inheritance. Now in this chapter we will go on more smaller level of genes, that means at molecular level. So that's why it is molecular basis of inheritance. After the establishment of gene concept in 1910, it remained for the biologists to discover which chemical component of the chromosomes constitutes the actual genetic material. As early as 1869, Friedrich Miescher, he separated nuclei from the pus cell and isolated a new class of organic compounds which he named nuclein. Nuclein was again renamed as nucleic acid by Altman in 1889. By 1920, it had become clear that chromosomes are made up of large molecules of two biological compounds, proteins and a nucleic acid called deoxyribonucleic acid, at least for majority of the organisms. So first let's talk about the nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are polynucleotide chains, means they are the polymers of nucleotides. Deoxyribonucleic acid DNA and ribonucleic acid RNA, these are the two types of nucleic acids. They are also the polymer of nucleotides. In DNA the nucleotide is deoxyribonucleotide and in RNA the nucleotide is ribonucleotide. That's why DNA is known as polydeoxyribonucleotide and RNA it is polyribonucleotide. A nucleotide has three components. Number one, a nitrogenous base, second is pentose sugar and third is phosphate group. Out of these three, phosphate group is same for all the nucleotides, but nucleosides may differ. When nitrogenous base is linked to pentose sugar, it is known as nucleosides. It means a nucleotide is made with a nucleoside and a phosphate group. So let's see how these nucleosides are different in two types of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. DNA it is double stranded, RNA usually it is single stranded. There are two types of nitrogenous bases. Number one is purine derivative, adenine and guanine, which are same for both DNA as well as RNA. And second is pyrimidine derivatives. Cytosine is common for both DNA and RNA and thymine is present in DNA. Uracil is present in RNA at the place of thymine and thymine is also known as 5-methyl uracil. Next is pentose sugars. In DNA, the pentose sugar is 2-deoxyribose sugar and in RNA, it is ribose sugar. The difference between ribose and deoxyribose is only that the hydroxyl group present at position 2 in ribose is reduced to a lone hydrogen atom in deoxyribose. But this minor difference accounts for important differences in chemical reactivities of RNA and DNA. Now let's take a quick look on the types of nucleotides present in DNA and in RNA. So in DNA the nucleotides are deoxyribonucleotides, so they are number one deoxycytidylate acid, thymidylate acid, deoxyadenylate acid and deoxyguanylate acid. And in RNA they are cytidylate acid, they are uridylic acid, adenylate acid and guanylylic acid. And types of nucleosides present in DNA, they are known as deoxynucleosides, so deoxycytidine, deoxythymidine, deoxyadenosine and deoxyguanosine. And in RNA the nucleosides are cytidine, uridine, adenosine and guanosine. These names are based on what type of nitrogenous base is present. If adenine is present or guanine is present or thymine or cytosine or uracil is present, so the names are given accordingly. Now we know that a nucleoside is formed when a nitrogenous base molecule links with a pentose sugar. This is a dehydration condensation linkage in which a molecule of water is released and it is called as N-glycosidic bond because it connects the C1 carbon of the pentose sugar to the N1 of a pyrimidine or N9 of a purine. And a nucleotide is formed when a molecule of phosphoric acid is esterified to a hydroxyl group present at C5 and C3 of the sugar moiety of a nucleoside, and the linkage is called as phosphodiester bond because two ester bonds are formed, and this is also a dehydration condensation linkage releasing a water molecule. Thus, due to the esterification of the phosphate groups at C5 and C3 OH groups of the sugar moieties, a continuous covalent backbone of a polynucleotide is formed. A nitrogenous base of the nucleotide do not participate in the formation of the backbone, but it remain linked only to the C1 of the sugar as distinctive side groups. Here, one thing is important to know, that the length of the DNA is a characteristic of an organism, and it is usually defined as number of nucleotides or a pair of nucleotides referred to as base pairs. Like we can see here in the 5174 bacteriophage, 5386 is the number for nucleotides, and in bacteriophage lambda it is 48502 base pairs. In E. coli it is 4.6 into 10 is to power 6 base pairs, and in haploid human DNA it is 3.3 into 10 is to power 9 base pair. And when we will talk about the diploid human DNA, it will be double of this, 6.6 into 10 is to power 9 base pair. As we know that DNA is a long polymer of nucleotide, due to this technical limitation in isolating such a long polymer intact, the structure of the DNA remained elusive for a very long period of time. It was only in 1953 that James Watson and Francis Crick proposed double helix model of DNA structure that was based on the X-ray diffraction data produced by the Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. And for this, Wilkins, Watson and Crick, they shared the Nobel Prize in 1962 for their work on DNA. The double helix model was based on base pairing between the two strands of polynucleotide chains, which was based on observation of Irvin Chargaff that for a double-stranded DNA. And according to Irvin Chargaff, the base composition of DNA and the base ratio are characteristic of a species and hence differs in different species, and base ratio is A plus T ratio G plus C. It is different for different species. Second is, regardless of the species, in all the DNAs, purine and pyrimidine content of the DNA are equal, and also the percentage of adenine is equal to the percentage of thymine, and the percentage of guanine, it is equal to the percentage of the cytosine, and the percentage of A plus G, it equals 50%, and the percentage of T plus C equals 50%. These qualitative and quantitative relationships are known as Chargaff's rules. Now let's talk about some of the salient features of double helix model given by Watson and Crick. Number 1, the DNA is made of two polynucleotide chains where the backbone is constituted by sugar phosphate and the bases they are projected inside. Two chains have anti-parallel polarity. One has the polarity 5' to 3' and other has 3' to 5'. Number 3, the bases in two strands are paired through hydrogen bonds forming the base pairs. Adenine with thymine with 2 hydrogen bonds and guanine with cytosine with 3 hydrogen bonds. As a result, always a purine comes opposite to the pyrimidine. This generates approximately uniform distance between the two strands of helix. Number 4, the two chains are coiled in a right-handed fashion and the pitch of the helix is 2.4 nm or 34 angstrom. There are 10 base pairs in each turn and the distance between two base pair is 0.34 nm or you can say 3.4 angstrom. The plane of one base pair, it takes over the other, which confers more stability. This is all for today's video. To get the notification for the other videos, do subscribe this channel. Thank you.